We are speaking, of course, during Pride Month, and Pew asked Americans about their opinions on gay marriage and other LGBTQ issues. What exactly did you find in terms of how Americans view gay marriage right now in 2024?
Yeah, so this is another case where there is a pretty substantial partisan divide. Among Biden supporters, we find that 57%, so a majority of Biden supporters, say that same sex marriage being legal in the US is a good thing for society. Among Trump supporters, it's just 11% who say that this is a good thing for society. Now, the way that we ask this question, there is some middle ground. So everyone who said that this isn't a good thing didn't necessarily say that it's a bad thing. Some of them said that it's neither bad nor good. But with that said, there's a pretty substantial divide between Biden supporters who say that this is a good thing for society and Trump supporters who say that this is a good thing for society.
Those numbers seem generally low to me. And without having data from 2015 or 2014 before gay marriage passed in the US, I can't speak to the specific numbers, but how have you seen attitudes change over the years? Has support for gay marriage gone down in recent years?
So we don't have any evidence that support for gay marriage has gone down. This is a new question to us, whether same-sex marriage being legal is good for society, and that asks something a little bit different than whether you believe it should be a right or something along those lines. So, as you know, same-sex marriage became legal a few years ago based on a Supreme Court decision, and that changed the way that we had to ask about same-sex marriage. However, what we saw in the years leading up to that was increasing support over time. And within the public opinion sort of industry, we talk about same-sex marriage as really one of those rare exemplar sort of cases where public opinion did shift, and it shifted rapidly, and that was something you could see happening as it happened.
And then you also asked about the use of pronouns, which is something that we
Mhm.
have seen more and more in recent years. How do Americans feel about using they, them pronouns when referring to trans or non binary individuals?
Yeah, so what we asked is whether in sort of your daily life, if you feel comfortable when someone asks you to use they, them pronouns instead of he or she pronouns. So we didn't refer specifically to transgender or non-binary people. It was just about using those pronouns sort of in your daily, your everyday life. And what we found there is that there is a partisan gap there, that Biden supporters are much more comfortable, or at least say that they're much more comfortable with this than Trump supporters are.
And here again, are those attitudes towards pronouns perhaps affecting how people view other LGBTQ issues like same sex marriage?
Well, it's certainly possible. We have seen, of course, political leaders on both sides reference the pronoun debate, and so I have to think that that's playing into larger debates and larger issues when it comes to LGBT issues, when it comes to transgender issues specifically. Now, we did in this survey ask people whether the gender that someone is can be different from the sex that they were assigned at birth. And this, of course, is another case where we see a very large partisan divide, where Republican voters and Democratic voters, at least those who say they're supporting the candidates currently, where they are far apart, where there are many more Biden supporters who say that the sex you're assigned at birth doesn't necessarily make you a man or woman, versus Trump supporters who say that.